Hi, this is Stan. Well, here's a short update on the Crow's Nest Railroad. Well, you can see I'm a sucker for these little spectacle windows. Anyway, just a quick update. I've got a video coming up, part 2 of the Bridge to Nowhere, and finishing that off at the end of the week, and then a couple of other videos in the stream here. But I thought I would give you a real-time update really quickly today. I'm in the shop and I'm working on the cabinetry for the small shunter electric locomotive. I put it out on the tracks just to do some testing, and so now I've got to tear it apart and do painting and actually build the whole body for it. And I typically use plywood and lumber. I'm not a machinist, so I don't tend to build things out of metal. Anyway, so this is the little cab that I'm working on right now. You can see I cut the windows out using a Forstner bit on the drill press. Makes a nice clean cut. Right now I'm working on some doors for the side. Here's one of the side panels, and I'm working on a door for that. Typically these little locomotives, from what I can tell, were open on the sides. They were covered on the top and the front, and some were even open on the back. But out here in the desert, this is where the electronics are going to go in the cab here, and they would just get really overloaded with dust and dirt and things if I had this open cab. So I'm going to go ahead and put sides on this, but I'll have an access door where I can reach in and get to everything. And then, although it's not very conventional, I'm actually going to start out, at least, putting my controls for this on the top of the cab. So let me explain just something. I'm not really encumbered by the need to make this thing very prototypical. There are certain things that are a given as far as the dimensions are concerned. Of course, one is the battery. So the hood of this little locomotive will have to accommodate this battery. So instead of a diesel engine, obviously, on the real ones. But so that's pretty much, you know, there's not too many options for covering up this battery. The frame of this locomotive is already defined for me. So really, I just have to do some sort of a cab to hold the electronics, and I already know that I would really like the controls for this not to be on a tether. I really don't like handheld controls hooked with a wire or remote control. I don't like to fiddle with that. I want the controls as part of the locomotive. I got really used to that on some of the larger locomotives at our railroad club, pulling public runs and things like that. I just like the controls on the locomotive, but I don't want to have to dig around down in the bottom. So I really, on my little railroad here, there will be lots of throttle activity because I have a lot of curves, a lot of tight radius curves, and ups and downs. So basically you're fiddling with the speed control all the time. So I want it accessible, and I want it between 18 and 20 inches high. That works for me. What that means is I'm going to start out by having the actual controls on the top of the cab. So I'll have a throttle here, and a couple of toggle switches, and I've got a little volt readout, but that will be seen through the window. I'll put that on the inside, and I'll have the door on the side down here where I can get at things. This will technically be probably out of scale. This little guy will not be exactly 1 inch to the foot. He'll be a little bit bigger than that, but that's okay. I'm not exactly 1 inch to the foot scale myself. Well, this is Stan saying thanks so much for checking in. Just a short update today. I've got a full video coming up at the end of the week where we're going to be finishing off our Bridge to Nowhere. Thank you so much for watching. It's very humbling. It really means a lot. Thank you, and I'll see you right here next time.